Greetings, Benjamin J from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, I'll follow up on that Lionel 8351 Alco Santa Fe diesel that arrived today. Dead as a hammer when I took it out of the box. And anyway, I did some judicious lubrication and pulled a big piece of carpet fiber out of the motor. Repaired a broken wire, and this is the result. So that's 50% power. It's actually running quite well. That motor is still really tight. It needs to be run and then lubricated every few minutes to break everything loose. Haven't even oiled the wheels yet, just worked on the motor. But as you can see, that is running just absolutely splendidly. Have to replace the headlight, of course. So stop it there, flip the reverse switch, and it runs in reverse. So $10.50, I was the only bidder on this. As you can see, I've cleaned the shell, just put it in the sink with a soft brush and some soap. Just gave it a good scrubbing. So a little bit of judicious tweaking, tuning, and lubrication. And I think this is going to be an excellent addition to the collection. So a Lionel 8351 Santa Fe diesel, $10.50, and I was the only bidder. So anyway, I just want to do a quick video, a quick follow-up video on this. This thing had a lot of oxide on the moving parts. This thing's been sitting for years, decades. And like I said, it looked like it had been stored in a shed. It had lots of gritty black dirt on it. And of course that dirt is on the inside as well. But it's running, it's actually running quite well. Put a headlight in this, it's going to be a really decent locomotive. So running forward and reverse. And running really, really well. So I gotta say it, don't overlook the junk. Nobody else bid on this because the thing was just in dreadful condition. You know, there wasn't much of a description, but the photos told a really good story, and you could tell just by the photos it had been stored badly for a very, very long time. So I'll get everything lubricated and tuned, and after an hour or so of running, this is probably going to run really, really well. The only way to tell, of course, is to run it and see. But so far, so good. Like I said, that's 50% power. So I'll get a headlight, put it in there. I might actually change the socket and put a screw-in bulb. These Lionels use a flat press-in bulb. Fits into a slot. It'd be a lot easier to just put a standard bulb in it. Anyway, I just wanted to do a follow-up video on this. Again, I gotta say it. Don't overlook the junk. No one else bid on it because it was in just absolutely dreadful condition. It looked bad, and I didn't think it was going to run when I took it out of the box. And I was right, it didn't. But as you can see, it's running well now. No doubt about that. Forward and reverse. Like I said, I'll get that headlight installed. This is going to be a really decent locomotive. And it's running better every time it goes around the rail. So it was definitely worth $10.50. You see these Santa Fe's, these Lionel Santa Fe's selling for 50, 60 bucks. $10.50, and I was the only bidder. So again, don't overlook the junk. It took less than half an hour to get this locomotive running. So it's still dreadfully dirty, and it still needs to be really, really lubricated. This thing's been sitting someplace for decades. There's no doubt about that. And really bad storage. But as you can see, overall condition isn't bad at all now that it's cleaned up. It's had a lot of use, yes. No doubt about that. But still, for $10.50 to get a Santa Fe diesel, a Lionel Santa Fe diesel, that was more than worth the money, I think. It runs well, in decent condition. Once I'm finished with this, once it's lubed and tuned, this is going to run really, really well. There's no doubt about that. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick follow-up on this. It runs nice, it looks nice, it was dirt cheap, and took a grand total of, I don't know, probably half an hour. Had to do a bit of repair to the switch. The switch wasn't working well at all. And like I said, everything on the inside is just covered with oxide. So the brushes were covered, the armature was covered. The switch itself was in dreadful condition, just covered in oxide. That's why it wouldn't run. So got everything straightened out, a bit of lubrication in it. Like I said, it's going to take, I don't know, probably an hour or so of running this. But like I said, every time it goes around, it runs a little bit better. So it's actually running quite well. So I'll put the headlight in it, get it lubricated really well, continue to run it the rest of the day. This is going to be a really great addition to the collection. Lionel 8351 Santa Fe diesel, $10.50. Really difficult to beat that. So I just want to do a quick follow-up video on this. It runs, it looks more than acceptable. Far from perfect, but it looks nice and it's running well. Smooth and quiet. And of course, the more I run it, the better it's going to run. But I still have to lubricate everything. But good enough for now. The next step will be more lubrication on all the wheels, of course, get everything cleaned up. And then installing that headlight. Like I said, I'll probably replace the socket and put a screw-in bulb in it. It's just a lot easier. And take it from there. So I'll be running this the rest of the day. And like I said, every time it goes around, it runs a little bit better. So I just want to do a quick video on this. Lionel 8351 Santa Fe diesel. Don't overlook the junk. $10.50. I was the only bidder. And as you can see, this is up and running just absolutely splendidly. It's not perfect, but it runs well, it looks nice, and that is the name of the game. Like I said, doing stuff like this, you can get a complete consist, pennies on the dollar, of doing it any other way. Look for the stuff that no one else wants. I was the only bidder on this because it looked absolutely dreadful. And I'm sure anyone who saw it thought it wasn't worth the time and the effort because it wasn't going to run. And they were right, it didn't. But 20 minutes, half an hour of my time, it's up, it's running really, really well. So anyway, just a quick follow-up. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.